Hi guys, and welcome to this tutorial on the standard back lift. So the things you're going to need to be able to do this move are spinning the hoop on your waist, and there's plenty of tutorials online that will teach you how to do that. And you'll also need to be able to spin the hoop on your hand at the top. So if you spin the hoop anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, or to the left, like this, then you will need to be able to spin the hoop on your right hand going to the left. So right hand going to the left. If on the other hand you spin to the right or clockwise on your waist, you'll need to be able to spin the hoop on your left hand going to the right. So left hand going to the right. And take note of this L shape that I'm making with my thumb that makes it a lot easier to keep the hoop above your head. So that's what you'll need to be able to do this move. Step one of learning this move is to actually do the move without your hoop. So you put your hoop down, and what we're going to do, if you hoop to the left, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to put it on the small of your back, like this. And what we're going to imagine is we're not clenching the hoop, we're imagining the hoop is just resting in our fingers like this. So the hoop is just resting in our fingers and we're keeping our palm open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my hand up the side of my body, all the way up the side of my body, elbow up and then hand up. So show you that again, elbow up and then hand up. So I'm going to lean slightly to my left as I do this with my right hand, just to help it make sure it stays on my right hand side of my body. So small on my back, all the way up the side, elbow and then hand. And we can do that on the other side. So with the left hand, all the way up the side of my body, elbow up and then hand. So the back of the hand actually skids up the side of the body. It's a misconception that when you lift the hoop that your hand needs to turn with the hoop. Actually, the best way of lifting is to just take your hand straight up. So imagining that you're in a column and you're trying to keep your hands within that column. One thing that really won't help is if you drag your hand over your midline, and this is what I commonly see, and I see this with people that have been hooping for years. When you lift up, you bring your hand across, immediately the other side of the hoop is going to drop down. So you need to avoid doing that. So now we're going to add in the other hand to this whole thing. So this hand is going to be coming up like this. But to make it easier for ourselves, our other hand, we're going to imagine that a small child has got your hand and they're dragging you around in a circle like this. So it's not you're turning around and then the kid's turning around. They've got your hand and they pull your arm, and then that makes the rest of you go round. So if I'm in my right hand at the back and they've grabbed me by the hand, as they're pulling me round, I bring my hand up. And this ends you in this nice position here, if you don't fall over. Like this. Okay, so we're going, pull our hand round and up. And what you'll notice is my hand never ever passes across in front of me. My head stays in front of my hand at all times. Same on the other side. If you're lifting with your left hand, so my left hand is in my small of my back, it's my right hand this time that's going to be pulled around. So this time it's going to be pulled this way. And you'll notice that I'm leaning into where I'm being pulled, and this again keeps my hand on this side of my head. So hand goes first, then head, then arm, and we go all the way up. And you're going to feel a bit stupid doing this at first, but I promise you, the more you can get the motion ingrained into your head, the easier the actual lift is going to be. So step 2 is to do this with a hoop, but we don't have to start with it spinning. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stand in the hoop, put the hoop against the small of your back, and let the front of the hoop drop down. You're then going to take your right hand and put it in the small of your back, so that you're gripping the hoop, and you're not tightly gripping. As soon as you tightly grip, your shoulder tenses and it makes it really difficult to lift up. So what we're going to do is just have it in our fingertips, like this. So then what we're going to do is the other hand is going to go in the hoop, and that's going to be pulling us round. So as we come up, we're just going to drag our hand up the side of our body until we get to the top, and most of you will be able to just swing that hoop around and start it going at the top. If you're having problems with that, it's because you do actually have to do a surface switch. It's just so you switch your hand from the outside to the inside of the hoop. So to show you that again, I come up, my hand goes all the way up the side, and I'm on the outside of the hoop, and what I do is I just spin the hoop on my thumb once to get my hand in. Stop the hoop, put it to the back, bring it down, hand goes in the small of the back, like this, other hand goes in, and we drag up the side of our body all the way to the top, and then spin at the top. So you've got the whole second section of the lift. We're going to do this on the other side as well. So this time we put the hoop against the small of our back, but for this one we put our left hand in, and we're going to be hooking the hoop with our fingers. Remember not to grip tightly, just to hook it with the fingers, and we're going to put our right arm in the hoop, and we're dragged around, keeping our hand behind us, all the way up to the top, spin on the thumb, and into the hand spin at the top. So step 3 is getting this while you're spinning. So while you're spinning, something you can practice is just having your hand in the small of your back and feeling where the hoop is hitting you. And what we're going to do is when that hoop hits, you're going to hook the hoop with your finger, and remember that your elbow is going up and then your hand. So as soon as you've hooked, you know that the hoop drops, even if the hoop drops down, you can still finish off the lift. Like this. And what I find is having your arm up at the end is a much nicer finish point than this one. Okay, so really get into the habit of dipping that hand in, even if you have to stop it, dip, and then go up, and gradually just get used to smoothing that out. And the more that if it's not working, go slower. Don't speed up. If you speed up, you're gonna end up with this whole thing. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can just slow it down. You grip with just your fingers and drag up, elbow first and then hand. Okay, so I'm going to show that from a few different angles. And then exactly the same applies to the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it spinning on our waist. This time we put our left hand in the small of our back and we feel when it hits. And the next time it hits, first things first, we're just going to grip, let it drop, hand in, and come all the way up. And then gradually just get to the point where you can grip and come up at the same time. I go slightly more across my face with my clockwise direction because I'm just not as good at it. When you do this without a turn, your hand will pass slightly across your face, but try to keep that pass never going past your midline. So as the hand comes up, I try to keep it at the midline as it goes across my face. This technique of always having your head in the lead is going to make your back lifts look nicer, and it's also going to make them easier to learn. And as you move on and you want to do back lifts from your knees and you want to do pizza tosses, your technique with your standard back lift is what's going to make these a lot easier to learn. So top tips, don't clench the hoop really tightly because it will cause your arm to stiffen up and immediately you end up coming across your face. Remember to turn and really feel like that arm is turning you, and also really try and concentrate on not making your head stay in front of your hand the whole time. So even if that means leaning your head out the way and turning to allow your hand to come up. Please check out the Hooping Mad online workshop store for loads of awesome workshops available online for download now. I also do a regular free online streaming show called The Hoop Doctor, and you can find out all the information on that, which includes loads of free tutorials and homework assignments and all sorts at the Hooping Mad online learning group on Facebook.